Hello and welcome back to Explain 11. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and today we're going to be continuing our first look, or my first look, of ORBX, the TrueEarth GB, at least GB South anyway, currently available on the ORBX website for £30. And again, I've got to thank ORBX for giving me a review copy of this. Link is in the description box below, and as you saw from my first video, I was absolutely blown away, and we had a look at the comparison. We went along the border just north of Echo Golf November X-Ray, going up towards Trent. So we went along that border there where the scenery actually cuts off, and we also went down to London. Now in London, some people may have noticed that there were a couple of landmarks missing, and I pointed out a few landmarks that there seemed to be a few issues with. I was told in the comments by Tom, thank you very much Tom, that there was an issue with the scenery loading, and a few people were having this issue, and there was an easy way to fix it. I couldn't find the thread itself, but from what he explained, I figured out what exactly needed to be changed, which INO file it was, and it was just the scenery order that needed to be changed. So I had to put the London scenery, the Laminar Research London scenery slightly above the ORBX scenery, and that brings back things like House of Parliament, the London Eye, the Tower Bridge, for example. So everything looks great in London now. The bridges still need work, of course, but things like Tower Bridge and that are there, which is really, really good. In this video, we are going to be taking off from Coventry Airport, and we are going to be heading over Birmingham, and then we're going to fly towards RAF Cosford. And if we do get a chance, we'll land at RAF Cosford, and from there, of course, in the next video, then we'll start going to Wales. But also, I know somebody wants to see the coast, so I might go along the coast of Wales out from Cardiff and then head north, something like that. But I want to see this area now, so we're going to look at the West Midlands going over towards Wales and in the direction of Wales. So we've had a look at sort of the southeast of England, some of it anyway. We've had a look around the border, around the East Midlands, and now we're going to have a look at the West Midlands. So there's still lots of areas that we need to go and have a look at, and we shall. But make sure you stay tuned for this episode, or for the rest of this episode, for that. Alright, so here we are with a takeoff out of Coventry Airport, and what we're going to do today is we're still going to be flying VFR mostly, and the first thing I need to do is, as soon as I take off, once I've got myself a few hundred feet up, obviously flaps need to come in, we're going to follow runway heading for now, and then we're going to do a loop. So I am going to do a loop around in a few moments time. Right, there we go, flaps can now come in. So what I'm looking to do is I'm going to loop to the left, and we're going to do a left-hand loop once I get myself stabilized on this, and that looks like that's fairly stable. And of course we are looking around at the scenery, and so what I'll do is I'll do that so you guys can see the scenery just that little bit better as I start bringing in this aircraft for a nice, I'd say about 20-degree left-hand loop. There we go, still climbing very nicely, just very slowly accelerating past or through 80 knots, trying to keep it around 1,000 feet per minute on the climb, and we're going to loop all the way around. Don't let the aircraft get away from us too much. We've got a 20-degree bank there, which is fairly alright. Coming up to 85 knots, and start bringing the aircraft back in like so. That's pretty good. We should now be abeam the airport, and there you go, there's the airport right there, and there's the city of Coventry. That was actually a really, really nice loop around. Surprisingly, that went exactly as I intended, so I am a little bit surprised, just a little bit. That went as intended. Now we're going to drop into a 500 foot per minute rate of climb. We're going to maintain around 050 on the heading, and we'll just continue. As I said, it's going to be VFR. We're going to level off around, I'd say around 2,500 feet. We're going to level off today, and then we are going to turn in towards Birmingham. But first of all, obviously we need to have a look around this area. Now my computer is not all too happy today, I will admit. So you're going to notice it stutters a little bit more. I don't think that's got anything to do with ORBX. I think that's just my computer being a little bit miserable. So there's Coventry right there. Now I don't know Coventry all too well at all, so I'm not going to be able to point too many things out. I do know the roads somewhat. Right, let's start getting ourselves leveled out a little bit here. Let's continue the climb to 2,500, as I said. So I do know the road somewhat, but not all too well. But that is Coventry. There is a football stadium that's along the M6. So let's head towards the M6 first, which should be, well, that should be the M6 right there. So I'm having a look at this and I'm thinking that's the M6. So let's just lazily drift towards the M6 as we really take in the scenery. And as you can see, things are quite accurate at the moment. Coming up to 2,500 feet. That is the M6. That is the M6. This is the A40. That's not the A46, is it? I don't really know. That's the M69. That's the M6 going across. That way's the M1. That goes, then that's going to go towards London. That's where it goes towards Birmingham. That's ways east. So that's going to be sort of northwest. That's more easterly. That's going to go obviously towards. That's going more south, southwest. Oh, sorry, southeast, not southwest. So northwest, southeast, and then that's predominantly east. Right, let's level off here at 2,600. And what I'm going to do here is, just to make it easier on myself, I'm actually going to use that little cheat autopilot system. Just because we're looking at the scenery today and not flying this aircraft, so I'm going to activate that cheat autopilot system. I'm also going to activate the heading hold, and it should hold us on this current heading, and we can have a look at Coventry from the outside. And there you go, that is definitely the M69 going through. That's the M6 junction. Lovely corner this is. Really, really nice corner. A number of times I've gone in this corner and then turned out that way. So let's go follow the M6. So let's just use this and turn it to a heading of 270. Actually, 270 might not do what we want. In fact, if that takes us over Coventry, then that should be fine. Also, at this point in time, I will start bringing that prop back. There we go, and bring that mixture down to about there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Alright, 270 is not quite what I wanted. Let's go for 290. Nope, 280. Let's go for 280, which is about there. There you go. That's not bad at all. So let's have a look around and see what is represented in Coventry. Now, the houses are a little bit sparse around this area, which is a little bit strange. I would have thought they would have put a bit more housing in. The M6 is completely accurate, as you would expect. Again, I'm not using the X-Plane default roads, which is why you're seeing roads like this. I might switch it on in the next video just to give it a bit of a comparison. That there, I think, is supposed to be a football stadium. That's the Riker Arena, I think. So there is a representation there, but it's not quite accurate. I think the colours are wrong, and there's supposed to be some sort of, if I remember correctly, there's some sort of a design at the top with steel beams. But in general, everything seems to be where it should be, and you can just see Birmingham out there. That's Birmingham there, and then right in the distance, that's actually coming up towards the borders of Wales. So yeah, looking around here, everything seems fairly correct. And you can, again, it's that sort of angle that you look at and you think, that's incredible, what ORBX have pulled off here. Or that sort of angle, and that's where it really shows. And of course, this is a flight simulator. It's not a road driving simulator or anything like that. So to have this kind of scenery is absolutely fine. It really is no problem there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust my heading to 285. Get back along the M6 in that direction as we have a look around. And we're doing fairly good on our speed. I'm going to drop the... In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can pick up speed a little bit further. Like that. I'm going to drop the propeller back a little bit more. That's good. And I'm going to drop that mixture down to about there. And let's see what kind of speed we can get out of that. Fuel pump can go off now. We've done all our takeoff and everything, so we don't have to worry about that. We're not going to be using the radios today, but I have got Coventry tuned in currently, so that's okay though. But we'll leave nearest airport on. That will probably come in quite handy for us. So we've got that's Coventry, Echo Golf Bravo Echo. That's Birmingham City. So it's Echo Golf Bravo. Those are, I think those are. Listen, aerodromes. I don't think they're former RAF bases, I believe. Once upon a time, they were RAF bases. Right, we're doing fairly good on the speed. I'm quite happy about the speed we're doing. I'll bring that back just a tad more. 125 knots, about 135, 140 miles per hour, which is pretty good. The scenery is really good. Again, it looks like anything above 2,500 feet, and you really do get to see it quite well. As I mentioned in the first one, because it's photorealistic scenery and they've got to take resolution, meshes and that into consideration, we can't have scenery that is going to be ridiculously detailed at 200 feet. Well, we could, but it would just be huge. The file size would be huge, and it would have a toll on your computer, loading in textures of that size. So they can't do that. I wish they could, and maybe one day we will be able to. This is a golf course, as you can see quite clearly. But yeah, maybe one day we will be able to, but sadly today is not that day. So this is the M6 toll M42 junction. So that's the M6 going over that way. The M6 is then snakes around that way. That is the M6 toll road, and then that is the M42. That's the M42. That is the junction with that road that we just saw over the other side coming out from the M69 that joins the M6. That road comes all the way up here. That's Coventry Road. That goes all the way past the airport, and they have got it correct. They've got it with a new variation because there was a lot of roadworks going on over here, changing up things for a new runway that they're looking to build at this airport. So that's Birmingham Airport, Birmingham City Airport there. City of Birmingham that way. I think I'm not too familiar with Birmingham all in all, but we're going to follow the M6 around, or at least in some fashion. So let's go ahead and swing ourselves over to a heading of 310. There we go. Heading of 310. We're still doing about 120 knots, which isn't too bad at all. I need to bring that fuel flow up just a smidge. I don't want to starve the engine. It's just leaning it up just too much, and that's not going to help us. So let's see what we can see. Now this area should be the fort area, so we've got Fort Dunlop around there. That area should be, just past that should be Star City. So we're going to have a look at and see what landmarks of that are actually included. But overall, Birmingham looks pretty much like Birmingham. Obviously all the roads are there. Every single road, as you can see, is there. The railways are in there. We'll fly over the city centre in a while. I'm just trying to have a look around and see if there's anything of note that I can see that I remember seeing on any travels through, past or around Birmingham. So that's the M6 toll, I think, going that way. Yeah, that goes that way. Just completely avoids Birmingham because this area is quite busy. The M6 is essentially a Birmingham ring road. That looks like that's supposed to be Fort Dunlop. That is supposed to be Fort Dunlop. The shape's right. No distinctive markings, but that is clearly Fort Dunlop. Let's go alongside the M6. Yeah, that's Fort Dunlop, but that's not a... I was kind of hoping maybe the forts would have been done a little bit better, and then that means that on this side, that is Star City, which doesn't really look like Star City at all. But that's supposed to be Star City, which is an entertainment place, lots of restaurants, games, cinema, things like that are all around this area. But yeah, that is Star City, because I remember from driving around this area some time ago, I remember those there, and there's a really awkward roundabout with railways and stuff, which I think is I think that's that set of roundabouts there. It's just a really awkward, dark, dingy roundabout, that area. And so you got that. But the reason I know this area is because we're coming up to one of Britain's most famous road junctions. Also one of Britain's most annoying road junctions as we pass the rest of the fort. I think this is a shopping centre, a retail park. Obviously a freight yard here, lots of freight in this area. Birmingham is a very industrial city. So that's what you have in Birmingham. And in fact, it's also due to that industry, at least I believe it's due to that industry, that the Birmingham accent is quite nasally. Because people used to work in the industry, they used to have that nasal accent, and then obviously children learnt that accent from their parents, who have picked it up, who have learnt it from their parents, who have learnt it from their parents. But anyway, that's enough about that. That is the Spaghetti Junction. The scale of this junction, and grasp the effort that has been put in to create that junction in Explain, it's brilliant. So that's the M6 going that way. This is the M38 or A38M Aston Expressway. That's a football stadium right there, which is now I am going to get that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's West Bromwich. So that is West Brom Football Stadium, if I remember correctly. And I think it is, because this area is Jaguar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this area here is Jaguar. There is a roundabout here. I think that roundabout has a Spitfire, a triple Spitfire model in the middle, and that's Castle Bromwich, Jaguar Castle Bromwich. So I'm pretty sure that was the football stadium, and that was West Brom Football Stadium right there. Coming up this way, this is all the Aston Expressway. I'm not too sure many of the roads around here, but this is Birmingham City Centre, or representation of Birmingham City Centre. We've got the BT Tower right there, which actually says BT on it, which is for those of you in America, that's British Telecom. We have the Bull Ring itself. Now we're approaching this from the wrong side, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a loop around in a minute, but we have the Bull Ring right there, and so we are going to do one loop around this area so that we can see this. So if I turn to a base of this right now, like so, that should do the trick for me nicely. Let's have a look at the fuel flow, everything going okay, props are okay, speed is good, yeah, we're doing alright. Alright, so if we have a look around here now, that skyscraper was built, I think, about 10 years ago. It's not really a skyscraper, it just looks incredibly tall against everything else. That there is the Bullring itself, that's the Bullring Shopping Centre. As you can see, so this is all the Bullring Shopping Centre. That church, I don't know the name of. I think it may be called St Martin's Church. I think, but I'm not entirely sure. And as you can see, because Birmingham was such an industrial city, you have railways everywhere in Birmingham. It's one of those cities that has an elevated railway in many places, and it's rather remarkable. I will say it's rather remarkable. So if we have a look around this side, as the aircraft straightens up again, so from Bullring we have, obviously you can see the railways there. We need to work on the railway. We really do need to work on the railways. We have got New Street Station. That's just there. That's Birmingham New Street Grand Central. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be in here, which is kind of disappointing. Similarly, I think this is Birmingham Moor Street Station. That doesn't seem to be in there either. So that is disappointing. There you go. You can just see. You may have just seen there British Telecom or BT right there, but it's still not a bad representation of Birmingham city centre. I'm not sure whose that is. That might be Aston Villa. I think that might be Aston Villa Football Stadium. Yeah, so if that was West Brom, this must be Aston Villa. And then you've got Birmingham City Football Stadium. I really don't know, I'm afraid. I'm sure it's somewhere around this area. Probably out of sight of this aircraft because of the actual shape of the aircraft. Yeah, so anyway, the point is they've got football stadiums in the correct place. Ooh, that actually gives me an idea. I wonder if Edgbaston Cricket Ground is on here. So for those people who like cricket, they should know Edgbaston Cricket Ground. So we're going to turn back to a heading of 270, and we should be able to follow the expressway again and look for Edgbaston Cricket Ground, which I haven't actually had a look at or look for. Then from there we should pass over the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham Hospitals. There's Spaghetti Junction again. As you can see, at 120 miles per hour, we really fly through this, don't we? Forgive the pun. If it just keeps swinging around, probably need to swing it a little bit more. So we're going to go for 250, no, 265. Let's see what we get. No, I'd like a little bit more than that. 260. That looks good. Okay. Again, let's have a quick look at our fuel flow. Everything seems okay here. Great. Okay. So, again, Birmingham City Centre. Now, this way should be Edgbaston. Yeah, Edgbaston should be this way. So we should be looking for a cricket ground of some sort. I think it's called Edgbaston. Yes, it is. I'm not all too familiar with cricket, so I'm just having a look around. In fact, that looks like it's there. There it is, I think. So I'm wondering if this park. I remember coming to a park once in Birmingham many years ago, and they had red pandas there, and that was I think that was Edgbaston Park, or maybe Cannon Hill Park, or something like that. I'm not all too sure. That looks like a cricket ground of sorts to me. I think that's a cricket ground. There it is. That was just some sort of park. That's a cricket ground. That is Edgbaston Cricket Ground right there. So we're going over Edgbaston, and as you can see, this is part of Birmingham's old city. So you can see there are lots more fields around, there's a lots more hills, the roads are older, the houses are more spread apart. But that there, Edgbaston Cricket Ground, lovely. So if we follow this road over, this here is the Birmingham Hospital, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham, massive hospital. All this area, all of this area is the hospital. All of this area is research, all NHS, and it's quite interesting because not so long ago I took a photo of that clock tower. This is before I knew ORBX were doing this, or before I knew ORBX were going to release it and I was going to be able to get the key. I took a photo of that clock tower because I thought it looked quite nice on a visit to Birmingham. That clock tower is now in X-Plane, and it's freaky. It's freaky that we've actually got that. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head, now that we're headed out of Birmingham, to finish this video off, I'm probably going to head and see if I can land at RAF Cosford. Now the only thing about that is I don't know exactly where it is. So I'm going to now this is a test. This is a huge test of ORBX. Can I use the landmarks to find RAF Cosford? Can I use the scenery and the landmarks to find RAF Cosford? So let's have a look. If we follow, let's see, which way should we head? I think this way is Wolverhampton. So again, we might come across another football stadium, and that's going to be Wolverhampton Wanderers for that football stadium, which you might be able to see, might not. Hold on, that was a stutter on the air. That was a very slight stutter on the aircraft. No, everything seems okay. That's interesting. I wonder what that is. Looks like some sort of country park or even an old quarry. As I said, Birmingham's a very industrial city, so that could be a quarry of sorts. Okay, now from visits to RAF Cosford, I remember those mountains or those hills, because that is basically the Welsh border. Just what you see in the distance, those hills there, right in the distance, that's the Welsh border. We're only about, at this point, we're about 50 miles, if that, maybe 40 miles from Wales right now. So I remember those two hills being, those two hills were to the southwest of Cosford, and that hill I think was to the northwest. So Cosford, but that hill was closer. So Cosford should be around there somewhere, I'm hoping. So let's turn towards, let's turn to a heading of 310. Let's fly over Wolverhampton. And we'll fly over Wolverhampton and we'll see what exactly we can find. So I'm looking for perhaps a motorway again. If I can see the M62, and I'm going to do this all from the cockpit, because obviously that's going to be the most realistic way of doing it. Also, let's have a look down there. That is a quarry. I wonder if that's open for people to go visit. Because I'll certainly go visit that. That looks like that's a park of some sort, or a golf course, but that is definitely a quarry. Awesome. We've got the railway now. I know that railway goes, or I know there is a railway that goes in that general direction. Whether it's that railway, I'm not too sure. Just looking for motorways now. Or any other airports perhaps that might give me an idea. No, not really. Again, we're a bit of an industrial area. Hang on, this industrial area is a little bit familiar. I remember seeing this from a distance. Although it could be anything. that looks like the RAF base over there. I think that might be the base. Just some 15-20 miles away from Wolverhampton and about 35 miles away from Wales. Let's have a look, hold on. There's a road. There's a main road. That's a motorway. And as I said, that would be to the southwest. That was to the northwest, or somewhat northwest. So that could be the actual airport. Yeah, I think that could be the airport. Let's have another look around. It's like looking with binoculars, isn't it? So if that is the airport, where is it gone? If that is the airport, we should have a motorway there. So that is the airport, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to line up on a base leg, because I think that is the airport. The runway I'm going to be landing on today is going to be runway 24. So my base leg is going to be 33. So let's do a heading of 330, getting ourselves onto a base leg. We're going to do quite a long base leg if that is the airport. Again, I need to confirm whether that's the airport or not. I think it is, though. I mean, it looks like hangars, large hangars there, museums, and I think that's an aircraft there, isn't it? There looks like a military aircraft sitting there. Shading's a bit weird. Yeah, it looks like a military aircraft. That's definitely a main road. That's definitely a motorway there. So, yeah, that's definitely a motorway. That's, let's see, follow that along. That's Wolverhampton. Yeah, this is all Wolverhampton. So, if I'm reading ORBX correctly and all the motorways are in the right place, that is RAF Cosford. Fantastic. Right. Well, let's bring ourselves into a descent. Autopilot can go off. Thank you. Yeah, shut up. Thank you. Alright, next thing I need to do is start reducing power. Slow this aircraft down a bit. And at this point in time, we are going to go full mixture and full props. There we go. Alright, and now we've got ourselves into a nice stable 500 foot per minute rate of descent. I'm going to start slowing the aircraft down though. I want to get this aircraft down to 100 knots as we fly this base leg. As a matter of fact, I want to extend this leg. I really want to extend this leg, so I'm going to turn to a heading of... Well, I'm going to turn due north just for a moment as we get the descent going. Actually, due north is not needed. This will do. 350 will do. Keep that descent. Well, at least this should have given you, hopefully, not that much of a descent. This should have given you a good indication of X-Plane 11 with ORBX's TrueEarth in the West Midlands, which is actually quite interesting. I don't know what the I don't know what the altitude is of this airport, so I don't know anything. Let's make sure the QNH is okay. Which is why I'm taking this very, very carefully. That's that's definitely a motorway. That motorway goes all the way towards Wales. I know, because the signpost, at this point, the signpost actually starts saying Wales. So... there we go. Stage 1 flaps. Lovely. Continuing the descent. Holding 330. That is the runway. Runway in sight. Continuing the descent. .90 knots. One and a half thousand feet. Gear. This is going to be very interesting. I've not tried landing at Cosford before. .80 knots. I want to try and stabilise on the 80 knots here. And because I don't know the approach procedures at Cosford, I think I'm too low now, so I'm going to actually start stabilising myself and try and hold the 80 knots whilst I do it. And then I'll adjust on final. I think I'm good though. Turn for final. Still descending the whole while. Really important to keep descending and maintaining 80 knots. Again, now this is turning into a tutorial, hasn't it? Right, okay. I think actually I've got this fairly accurate. So this is RAF Cosford, or a representation of RAF Cosford. Another stage of flaps. Now we're pretty much full flaps here. That should slow us down to 70 knots. So this is a active Royal Air Force base, and an air ambulance base and a museum, all in one. And right now I'm landing a civilian aircraft on the runway. Could have lined up for final better. Actually, I think I do need to drop the aircraft a little bit more than I wanted. So all this area here is owned by the RAF. All of it. Right. That's not too bad. We are definitely high. But I think I can compensate for this very quickly. There we go. And we are down. Welcome to RAF Cosford. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on X-Plane 11. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think of the ORBX scenery. There is another part to come, another 2 parts to come actually. One where I'll be looking at Wales, or some parts of Wales, and the other where I'll be looking at things like the coastline. So I'll have a look at maybe I'll go down to Cornwall or something like that, and we'll see what we can find in a place like Cornwall. Right, why has the mixture dropped itself down? I always question it when it does that itself. I haven't selected auto mixture anyway. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated, would really help me out. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ecgadget, and on social media you'll find me at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time for another look, part 3 of 4 at ORBX TrueEarth Great Britain. And if you want me to look at things in a lot more depth, take one city at a time, pointing out things, so on and so forth, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to try that out. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you guys next time.